We have come to the island of Hainan, which is very often referred to as China's Hawaii. It's off the southeast coast of China. We're in the city of Haikou, and we're on the old street of Haikou, starting with a pretty old building. Not sure how old this building is, but you can tell it's had some wear to it. Of course, you can see in the distance tall apartment buildings, which you see everywhere in China. And a lot of Haikou looks pretty new, but we're on the old street, so we're going to investigate a little further. This is Bo'ai Road, which can be traced originally back to 1271, which was the Yuan dynasty, and it originally was the main street connecting Haikou to Fucheng, formerly known as Chengnai Street, which means town street or north-south street. And it's about 1,300 meters long. It was rebuilt starting in 1924. Here we can see running down the length of Bo'ai Road, which is of course all decorated now and looks pretty cool. Of course, none of these buildings date back that far, but I believe they do. Some of these buildings date back to the 1840s. On this building with the green shutters, we have a decoration of two phoenix birds. During the 1870s to 1930s, many Hainanese were recruited to work overseas. These two sculptures show the parting of the families, with a wife and child waving goodbye to their husband and father, and two men shouting goodbye from the ship to their loved ones on shore. There are several coffee plantations on Hainan Island, and so coffee culture here is really strong. There are coffee shops everywhere, and we're not talking Starbucks, we're talking just local coffee shops. And here's something that will appeal to absolutely everybody: the Chocolate Art Museum. Everything inside here is made from chocolate. Beautiful sculptures made out of chocolate. The price of this particular house would be 80,000 RMB, which converted to US dollars is something like $11,000 or $12,000. That's a lot of chocolate. We have some birds flying over a chocolate bridge. And on the other side of the chocolate bridge, this is chocolate of the old street where we are. We saw it in chocolate, and here's the real thing. And it keeps very good time. Right now it's showing 3 o'clock, and indeed, actually, it is 3 o'clock. We have come up a mountain, and we are at Baihua Tianshi Lake. And what that means is white flower and water from heaven. And this lake is the source of a waterfall that I'll get a picture of later. The lake itself is quite beautiful. It's a small lake, but it's constantly fed by rainwater and several streams that feed into it from this mountain. It is a rainforest. And then this lake itself feeds the waterfall and is one of the sources for one of the major rivers on Hainan Island. Getting another view from the lake, here you can see the lake spills over and then continues downstream where it will then feed that waterfall. We're about to climb up the Dragon King Valley, which has waterfall running all the way along, and it's an 1,800 meter walk uphill, but it's supposed to be very beautiful. Here's the start. There's the water, and there's the steps that go uphill for more than a kilometer and a half. Now we have stopped at the Baihua waterfall, which is supposed to be very beautiful and was fed, as you may recall from what I said earlier, from the lake. First view of the waterfall. We still have quite a ways to climb to get to the best viewing spot. It was a long walk up here, but boy, this is a really nice waterfall. Remembering that this waterfall is fed by the lake that we saw earlier, the Baihua Tianchi Lake. Now, going to climb 1,314 steps from the waterfall up to the lake. We have come to another mountain that we are climbing, which is in the Orchid Valley, and we are in an orchid viewing area. Above, overhead, is a huge canopy of hanging orchids, and then more orchids planted along the sides. Here you can see the canopy of beautiful hanging orchids. And all along the side we have lots of orchids. Quite a beautiful garden. This tree has grown down and its roots have completely covered a large boulder that you can't even see, but it's under there, under those roots. We have the couple tree. Two trees just alike, very close together, nature's lovers. And boy, are they tall. Near the top of the mountain, we find what they call the celestial harp tree. And the shape of it sort of looks like a harp. It doesn't have a sign, so I can't tell you how old this tree is, but it's old, because it's really big and it has stretched out all over. And you can see the vines stretching down. It resembles somewhat a banyan tree, but I don't believe it is a banyan tree. Well, I found a park attendant who confirmed that my original impression was indeed correct. It actually is a banyan tree. It's just not shaped like one that I have seen previously, because it's really just one tall tree with lots of roots. Here we can see one more angle from the top coming down, and those roots are why I thought it was a banyan, plus of course the tendrils hanging down, growing from the tree to the ground, which would then eventually become heavier trunks, perhaps a few hundred years from now. On Hainan Island, in the city of Lingshui, there's a very popular tourist attraction called Monkey Island, and you get there by taking a cable car, which we're about to board. Here we are at the entrance to the Monkey Island attraction. And indeed, we have monkeys. Monkeys here waiting for people to drop food or to feed them intentionally. And over here we've got a little monkey family on the rock. In the monkey watching pavilion, there are just monkeys everywhere. A little grooming session. This is the area they call the Monkey Water Park. We have now driven completely across the island of Hainan. We started in the city of Haikou, and we have now come to the opposite side, to the big city of Sanya, which is very, very beautiful, one of the most beautiful seaside resorts. We're standing here by the sea, and along by the sea runs a very long, beautiful garden of palm trees and flowers. Here it is, the Sanya skyline and the sea, beautiful sea. By the sea, by the sea, by the beautiful sea, you and me, oh how happy we'll be. And it's easy to be happy here in Sanya, because it is indeed beautiful. And as I said, all along the beach, the lovely garden that you can walk through and enjoy the beautiful palm trees and other greenery. Pretty tough to beat. We've come to the top of a hill called Lu Huitong, which is a fairy tale. It means the deer turned around, and the story is that a hunter was chasing the deer, and the deer turned around to face the hunter and became a beautiful woman. And they, of course, immediately fell in love and got married and settled on this hill and turned it into the beautiful hill that it is now. But what's really amazing is the view from the top of this hill at night, overlooking the ocean here in Sanya. The lights of Sanya. And the beach is down there. Can't see it in the dark, but there it is. Very beautiful. Around every corner on this hill, there's another beautiful view of the city below. The lights of Sanya, just everywhere. Pretty gorgeous. Here you can see the sign that gives you the name, Lu Huitong, which means the deer turned around, although it seems to be translated there as overlooking the deer city. And over here, we have the deer family. Mrs. Bob just looked it up, and sure enough, Sanya is also called the deer city. So that explains overlooking the deer city. And how could we have Lu Huitong, the deer looking back, without a sculpture of the deer turning into the beautiful woman just behind me? There she is, emerging from the deer. You can see the deer has turned around to look back at the hunter, and the woman is somehow magically materializing out of the deer. We've checked into our Airbnb here in Sanya, and the view from our apartment is pretty spectacular. High-rise buildings, beautiful mountainside, and included in our package, lovely little swimming pool area and tennis courts. Not that we play tennis, but it sure is pretty down there. Here we are walking through that beautiful garden by the seaside. And of course, across the street, all kinds of shops and restaurants. But a lovely little walkway through the trees. At the top of the mountain is a hotel resort that they call the Bird's Nest Resort. You can sleep in the trees. So if you're interested in that, look it up in Sanya. There is a rope bridge leading across to some of the Bird's Nest Resort areas, but unfortunately, if you're over 70, you're not allowed to go across this rope bridge. And I'm over 70, so I can't do it, but I can show it to you. There's the start of the rope bridge, and it goes across all the way over there, where you can see some of the resort buildings on the hillside. Zoom in. That's where the rope bridge terminates, with all the Bird's Nest buildings over there. Well, don't tell anybody, but somehow, despite my advanced age, we managed to get a ticket anyway, so now we're walking across the bridge. And here we go, onto the rope bridge. It's very bouncy. With every step, it wiggles around. The rope bridge was surprisingly scary, but it did lead to a pretty great view up on top of this mountain. And also right down there, you can see a swimming pool, which is for one of the Bird's Nest Resort places to stay. So you can swim on top of the mountain, as well as have a great view of the ocean and the golf course down there. Well, that concludes our visit to Hainan Island. I hope you enjoyed your look at it. We certainly enjoyed being there. Beautiful green mountains, long sandy beaches, and the blue ocean, and lots of things to see and do. If you've never been to Hainan Island, or maybe you've never even heard of it, you should consider it for your next island adventure. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.